morning, guys. So today we are going to be making blueberry muffins with a cinnamon sugar crumble on top. And you're going to need a few ingredients. Okay, so we are going to use in the main batter half a cup of butter softened and 3 ounces of cream cheese softened, 2 eggs, 1 cup of sugar, 2 teaspoons of vanilla, 2 cups of flour, 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1¼ cup of blueberries, and 1/2 cup of milk. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to soften your butter and cream cheese. You can do that in the microwave, or you can do that by simply leaving them out overnight. If you're making them in the morning, just make sure to give them at least 2 or 3 hours to soften up. If it's cold outside, you might want to think about softening them for longer, like 8 hours. So something I didn't know before I actually made this video was that cream cheese, that little silver packaging it comes in, it actually has measurements on it, which I literally had never realized before, and I use cream cheese so often, like every day or every other day. I've used it in so many different recipes. And I had no idea it had measurements on it. So now we all know. Yay! And I'm showing you that there because I am so excited that I actually realized that there are measurements. All right, now that you have softened your butter and your cream cheese, you can grab a bowl. You are going to crack and mix 2 eggs in that bowl, along with, I believe, sugar and vanilla. And you want to whisk them prior to adding them the eggs, prior to adding them to anything or adding anything to them. This will ensure that they are the right texture, that they are fluffy, and that they're completely 100% mixed. And you don't end up with a bunch of like weird little like white or yellow specks. Also, it will give your muffins air if you whip them and make them light and fluffy. Okay, now to the eggs. You are going to add 1 cup of sugar. I only had 1/4 cup and 3/4 cup, so instead of using 2 different cups, I decided to just use 4 1/4 cups. I keep saying that I'm gonna get new measuring cups because I can never find them, and the like numbers scratch off, so then you can't tell what they are. And where I'm pretty good at eyeballing, I have made that mistake before, and it's never a good mistake to make. It always makes whatever you're making flop big time. Okay, so the next thing that you are going to add is 2 teaspoons of vanilla. You can do imitation vanilla. I like real vanilla. I just feel like it has a stronger flavor and more depth of flavor. The imitation just doesn't seem to hold up as well when baking. Also, the imitation, you have to use almost twice as much. Now that we've added the vanilla, we can mix that all together really well, and we will move on to the next step. Okay, so now that you have completely combined your egg, sugar, and vanilla, you are going to cream the cream cheese and butter together. Basically, that just means that you're smashing them together. So you don't ever want to get the cream cheese and the butter too hot. You want them to be just soft enough that you can literally mush them together. It should be a nice thick texture. I think at some point in a few seconds I start stirring it and realize that I got it a little bit too hot. That's what happens when you microwave it, which I had to do because I didn't take out my butter and cream cheese early enough. And my family was starting to get hungry. Looks like it's almost done being creamed. Want to make sure you get out all the lumps, especially with the cream cheese. The butter will melt. The cream cheese, it won't melt as much. So now what I'm doing is I'm adding just a little bit of the egg, sugar, vanilla combo to basically temper the butter and the cream cheese to a cooler temperature with the egg, because we don't want the egg to cook now. We want it to cook in the oven. So that's what that's called when you add just a little bit of something else that's cooler. It'll prevent the entire thing from cooking if it is too warm. I don't think it was warm enough to like cook anything, but I like to do that to be safe. Okay. Now we'll add the rest of that mixture, and you're gonna stir that up so it's completely combined. I'm doing a voiceover video today because my entire family was home, and every time I got to a different clip, I kept having to like record over everything with music and with sorry, my family is super loud. And my son kept coming in the room. He's 6. He kept just saying, you know, super inappropriate things about the way the food looked and about everything in general, because he is a silly 6-year-old. Anyways, you're going to stir that up nice and so it's all combined. It looks like it's pretty well combined. Those little lumps that you see in there are lumps of butter, not cream cheese. Made sure to get that cream cheese nice and soft. All right, so then I added 2 cups of flour, 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder, the 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, and I think that at this point I had forgotten the salt, but I do add it in sometime later. The one thing that you want to make sure to remember, once you add the flour has gluten in it, and if you mix it too much, it will make your muffins really, really tough or really, really firm. You want them to be light and airy and buttery and delicious when you get to your end product. So this step is very, very important. Make sure that it's mixed thoroughly, but just barely so. And I don't mix it like hardcore mix it. I literally fold it in as softly as I can. Okay, now that that is fully mixed, but just barely so, you're going to add a 1/2 cup of milk and your blueberries. That's 1 1/4 cup blueberries. I still don't think I had quite enough blueberries. I think they would have turned out better had I had a few more, but I had used my blueberries yesterday, and I thought I was gonna have enough, but that's okay. I ended up with as many as I did, and that's no big deal. Okay, so now that that is fully mixed in together, which again, you want to be careful, that gluten is in there. So the milk and the blueberries I mixed just until that milk was fully mixed in with the rest of everything else. Now we're going to make the topping. So the topping is going to be 1/4 cup of butter softened, 1/4 cup of flour, 1/2 cup brown sugar packed, and you want to pack it, and 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. I only end up using 3/4 of a teaspoon of cinnamon. I'm not a huge fan. It turned out really, really good. Okay, now we're gonna mix this real quick and then get ready to put everything together. Yay! Okay, so now we've got our muffin tin. Yay! I didn't get muffin cups. I usually do, but I didn't. So I highly recommend, if you don't have muffin cups, using a vegetable oil. Canola oil, avocado oil, sunflower oil, cornflower oil. I've never used grapeseed oil, but maybe. Just don't use anything that burns at a really low temperature. That would be like coconut oil or olive oil. They just, I don't know, they just don't do the job. They don't prevent your muffins from sticking or your cupcakes from sticking or anything like that. So the next thing I'm going to do is scoop out all of the batter into the muffin tin. We're gonna make them all equal, about 3/4 of the way full, and then add our topping also equally on top of each after that. If you haven't already preheated your oven to 375, go ahead and do that now. And then we are gonna put these in there for 20 to 25 minutes. I like to check them at the 20-minute mark to see where they're at. Sometimes they only need a couple more minutes as opposed to 5 whole minutes. But you just want to stick a toothpick in there and check. All right, we are all ready to get our muffins out of the oven. I am doing this one-handed, so you get to see my really grungy oven that I haven't cleaned in about 2 weeks. Ooh, looks so good. I usually let them sit in the pan only for a couple of minutes longer, and then I put them on the counter to cool before eating them. Otherwise, oh yes, I'm also gonna check it with a toothpick, because you want to make sure they're done. Although they look done, and I'm like 99% sure, but you know, for face value, we prick them anyway. Okay, so now that it has been a couple of minutes, I am taking out the muffins, and they look so good, and my kids are just super excited to dig in, but they still have to wait. I usually wait only 5 more minutes on the countertop while they're cooling, just to make sure. We don't want anyone burning their mouths. Oh my, look at those beauty shots. They sure do look good. All right, what are we thinking? Are we gonna like them?
Yes, I feel like it.
The little edge of this one came off. Oh, you'll have to get a one with more edge.
Oh no.
So that's the good part.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so my son couldn't wait for breakfast, so he had cereal earlier, so he's not 100% hungry. This one is his. Lots of edge. Ooh, yum. It should be delicious. We shall see. These were so delicious. I'm so glad I decided to do them. Thanks everybody for watching. Bye.